on the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield. This is the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
40 years after the infamous number 1 versus number 2 Iowa-Michigan football game in Kinnick Stadium, the affection, favor, the appreciation for that team and its head coach Hayden Fry remains. Rob Houtland's 29-yard field goal as time expired gave the Hawkeyes a 12-10 victory over Bo Schembechler's Wolverines. The statistical dominance was staggering. Iowa ran 84 plays to Michigan's 41. Outgained the Wolverines 422 yards to 182 and had 17 more minutes of ball possession. Led by the incomparable Big Ten MVP, quarterback Chuck Long, Iowa rolled to a Big Ten conference title with a 7-1 record, 10-2 overall. Its only losses at the hands of Ohio State and UCLA in the Rose Bowl. Up until 1985, the only other number 1 ranked Hawkeye team was 1959, led by another All-American signal caller, Randy Duncan. Long conveyed that his and his teammates' magical season actually began the day after Christmas in 1984, when the Hawkeyes smashed Texas 55-17 in a driving rainstorm at the Freedom Bowl. Incredibly, Long passed for 461 yards, completing 29 of 39 passes and 6 for touchdowns.
And we knew after that game that we could have something special with everybody coming back. You know, we had a senior-laden team coming back. We knew it in the locker room. We talked about it at the Freedom Bowl in the post-game locker room, and we said, hey, we could have something really cool if everybody came back. And I knew I was coming back. I just wanted to sit down a little bit, but I knew at that moment I was going to come back because I didn't want to miss out on something really cool. But that's where it started, and then when the calendar, the year flipped the page to January of 1985, we knew that, hey, we had a great year ahead of us, and we didn't want to leave any stone unturned, and we worked hard at it. You know, some senior teams, guys are looking to the NFL, and sometimes they fall apart. But we just made sure that didn't happen, and so it was a special year indeed.
Chuck, you're right, because the big picture is the Hawkeyes never left the top 10 that year. You started the season number 5,
yep.
Spent a month at number 1 before headed to Ohio State and the loss to the Buckeyes, and you ended the year ranked 9th by Associated Press. You had a great supporting cast, including that road grader of an offensive line. That offense averaged 38 points a game in Big Ten play. Coaches Fry and Bill Snyder were geniuses, but surrounded you with a group of recruits that really complemented your style, didn't they?
Yes. I mean, we had, really good receivers. We had Billy Happel, Scott Halverson, Robert Smith, Quinn Early, Mike Flagg, and Marv Cook. I mean, those guys were our tight ends. And so Ronnie Harmon, Fred Bush in the backfield, David Hudson, those guys were, I had some special talent around me.
Hey, I loved Rick Bayless too.
Rick Bayless. Rick was great for us too. Saved us in the Hawaii game the year before out in Hawaii. We had some special guys, and we knew it. Like I said, after the Freedom Bowl, we knew we had all these guys back, and great complementary team, with our defense as well. We played complementary football. We had good kicking game with Rob Houtland, special kicker, and Rob Houtland. But yeah, Hayden and his staff did a great job recruiting and developing. That's what they did well. And Bernie Wyatt would get all those guys on the East Coast, and and then they go down to Texas. Hayden had a lot of Texas connections, got those guys, and so
David Hudson was a Texas
David
boy,
Hudson was a Texas kid and a great player. I was surrounded by really good players, and here's the thing about it: no one got hurt. We didn't have any injuries, and usually teams can fall apart too with significant injuries.
Sure.
And we just did not have that. And so it was a credit to our strength coach at the time, Bill Durrich, and his staff, and they kept us on the field and kept us healthy.
Chuck, talk about that offensive line. I mean, that 1985 line would rival really the great units at Iowa. Mark Sindlinger at center, Dave Croston, Mike Haight, Bob Cratch, Kelly O'Brien, the backups. I mean, taken as a whole, what made that group so exceptional?
Well, they were big. They were big and they were talented across the board. Hayden liked taking tight ends and making them into offensive linemen because they had great feet, but they had no hands. So once they figured out that Kelly O'Brien and Mike Haight didn't have very good hands, Hayden knew they had good feet. Of course, Kirk Ferentz, being the offensive line coach, would always talk Hayden into, hey, give me those tight ends. They have really good feet, they can move, and I'll make them into great offensive linemen, which he did with Kelly and with Mike. And then surrounded with, you mentioned Bob Cratch and Cross and those guys. I mean, those guys were, and Sindlinger in the middle. I mean, Mark was a heck of a center, but I couldn't have you couldn't have wanted any better with a line like that going in your senior years. And they were older guys, been around the block. It's not like I came in with going in my senior year with a group of freshman linemen.
Yeah.
These guys had some experience, so I looked at all those things and knew that, hey, not only do we have experience, we have talent. Again, that's rare. It's really rare when you can have both of those at the same time anymore. And we did. So it worked out great, obviously.
Bring on Hawkeyes football with new gear from Shields. From jerseys, hats, and accessories, represent your team's iconic colors at the big game. Shields is your ultimate shopping destination with knowledgeable experts and great customer service to get you fitted for your passion. Whether you love style, sports, or the great outdoors, find it all at your local Shields or Shields.com. Our experts are here to make every day a win. Shields, proud partner of Iowa Athletics and football fans everywhere.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Back to the beginning, things changed when Hayden Fry arrived in 1978, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely. You knew something was special with that staff that he had. Of course, in time, that bared out to 5 of those guys, and I'm including Bob Stoops as a graduate assistant at the time. But 5 of those guys went on to become the all-time winningest coaches at their respective universities and in Power Four schools. I mean, they were, unbelievable. I mean, I don't know if anybody can say that, with Kirk Ferentz. And of course, Dan McCarney's, he was at Iowa State and they got broken by Matt Campbell. And then you got Bill Snyder, Barry Alvarez, and the young Bob Stoops, Bob at Oklahoma, Barry at Wisconsin, Bill at Kansas State. But we knew we had something special. And not to forget, Don Patterson went on to be a great head coach at Western Illinois, and Del Miller, and of course the great Bill Brazier, D coordinator. But it was just a perfect storm, Gary. I mean, everything came together at a wonderful time. We turned it all around in Hayden's 3rd year, and he knew how to hire. I think great leaders know how to hire better than they are, or guys that can fill the gaps. He was not afraid to hire people that were as good as he was, or if not better. He knew what his shortcomings were, so he filled those gaps with great hires. And so I think great leaders do that, and Hayden certainly did that. And just to be a part of the building blocks of that made it all special to see the transformation of Iowa football under Hayden Fry to break the Ohio State-Michigan lock on the Rose Bowl in the Big Ten Championship. I think Ohio State and Michigan had it for 15 years straight. Iowa comes in and makes it all possible by going to the Rose Bowl in 1981, made it all possible for anybody across the country. Yeah, just to be a part of the building blocks of that was special.
Chuck Long threw for over 10,400 yards, 75, 80 touchdowns in his illustrious career. And yet, if there's one video clip I'll remember to my dying day, it's the 2-yard bootleg with the arm up in the air and the football show against Michigan State early in the season. That was kind of a stepping stone to what was to come. But in that game, Chuck Long was 30 of 39 for 388 yards passing and 5 touchdowns. And those numbers aside, I can still remember that the prance into the end zone where Michigan State, by the way, Phil Parker was in the defensive secondary that day for the Spartans, got sucked up inside, took the fake. I believe the fake handoff was to Ronnie Harmon. That is a great story. One of my all-time favorite stories when you tell it. You had come to the sideline and you were as nervous as all get out because that's the play Hayden wanted.
Well, we call our last time out with about, 26, 7 seconds to go. And I get to the sideline, and we've never talked about this play. We've never practiced this play in the 5 years I was there. It was certainly not in the game plan that week. And I get to the sideline, and he says, Charlie, he called me Charlie. He says, Charlie, this is what we're going to do. You go in there and you call I left 47 pop out. 47 pop out is your straight fullback isolation play between the center and the left guard. Everybody has had it for 100 years, right? But don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. Fake it to Ronnie, put it on your right hip and score around, and you'll go around the right side and you'll score a touchdown. I thought he had 2 heads, I'm like, what are you talking about, Coach? I tried to talk him out of the play. And
you told him what you ran the 40 in.
Yeah, I couldn't run. I couldn't run at this time. I came in 185 pounds, but now I'm 215, so I've slowed down quite a bit. And so I said, Coach, you sure? He goes, when he takes his glasses off, Gary, when he takes his glasses off, look out,
huh?
Okay,
look out.
Yeah, you've irritated him. So, Charlie, I've been coaching 45 years. Do what I tell you to do. It's going to work.
Run the damn play. Run the
damn play. So I went in there and I called I left 47 pop out, took the snap, faked it to Ronnie, went around the right side. And like you said, all the Michigan State defenders sucked in, including the backside cornerback. The backside cornerback, if he stays at home like he's supposed to on goal line defense, he makes the tackle and that clock runs out. This is the risk and reward that Hayden would take from time to time. Well, backside corner. It wasn't Phil Parker's fault, by the way. It was the backside corner, and he crashed the party and allowed me to score. And the beauty of that is Nick Saban was their defensive coordinator and secondary coach.
Chuck, what are you going to remember most about that 1985 season?
Easily the Rob Houtland kick. When we got it down to 2 seconds against Michigan, we were 1, they were 2, as you know, and we got down to 2 seconds last time out. Bo Schembechler had 2 timeouts in Michigan and tried to ice Rob twice. Back then he iced him and made him nervous. But I'll never forget Rob. Rob was so confident in himself. After that last time out, he was walking out to the field. He turns around to us on the side and goes, "Don't worry, guys, I got this." So he went out there, and when he kicked that ball through the uprights, I will never – it was never repeated in my career, the elation and emotion of the crowd. And I coached college football for 20 years. I played in the NFL, and that crowd noise of the elation and emotion of that crowd, it was never repeated, never matched again in my career. I'll never forget it. It gives me chills just thinking about it.
In the 1986 NFL Draft, Chuck Long was taken in the first round with the 12th pick by the Detroit Lions. He was hampered by injuries throughout his 8-year NFL career. That 1985 Iowa team wasn't all offense. Coach Bill Brazier's defense was nasty front to back. Next week on the Fight for Iowa podcast, we'll relive its history through the eyes of all Big Ten nose tackle Hap Peterson. In the meantime, thanks to Chuck Long, and thanks to you for listening to the Fight for Iowa podcast. I'm Gary Dolphin. Go Hawks.
You've been listening to the Fight for Iowa podcast. Hawkeye fans, remember to hit the subscribe button on your favorite podcast app. Once you become a Fight for Iowa podcast subscriber, you'll automatically receive the latest episodes of the Fight for Iowa podcast, the Hawkeyes Voice podcast, Hawk Talk replays, exclusive game day content, and more. Until next time, on Iowa, and go Hawks! The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.